Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are here at week 5 of the Global Racing League Arca Series Coming Home 100. So, we're coming off an exciting Bristol race last week. Very fun race, a lot of action packed, crazy finish. And we saw our second time winner of the season, Donnie Honeycutt, take home that win. And we're here. We are here this week in week 5. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, this is the last race before the playoffs start. Only the top 12 will make it in. And so we'll see a lot of hungry drivers today who are looking to compete today. So expect a lot of fast drivers today. And I will step aside and I'll let these guys go ahead and hit the track for qualifying. All right, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have our qualifying. Qualifying has concluded, and so let's take a look the at the grid and who will be starting where. And in first place, we have Josh Kirsch with who is the class of the field in first place. Second place, we have Bobby Mantle, who's looking to have a rebound week from last week. Donnie Honeycutt in third, followed by Danny White in fourth. Adam Thompson fifth. Chad McGinley sixth. Michael Hayes is going to be in that P7. Chase Albright is going to be in that P8 spot, followed by Josh McCoy in P9. And then it's going to be Mark Sherwood is going to be P10. And then Bradley Minor, P11. Carlos Henriquez, P12. And then we're going to go off with P13, Alexander Cohen, followed by P15, John Howard, P16, Dwayne Honeycutt, P17, Tyler Honeycutt, and P18, Ron Harrington. And that's going to be your 18-card field, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, today is going to be an exciting race. It's going to be very, very, very fun to watch. This is Kentucky Motor Speedway. Very, very, very unique track. And we're actually racing at the Legacy version. So a lot of history here in racing, and expect it to be a good race, guys. All right, as we are about to go green, ladies and gentlemen. Josh Kirsch is about to take the green flag. And we are off, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going double file going into turn one. As we have almost a 3-wide battle. Oh, Josh Kirsch gets a good run coming off of turn two. And he pulls off to a big lead there. And there goes Donnie Honeycutt. And I'll tell you what, Donnie Honeycutt in that 22 car, he has been killing it this season. He's the only driver this season to have consecutive wins. So, or double, 2 wins this season, I'm sorry. And so he's doing a phenomenal job. And will he be able to keep up that momentum? Another driver who's gonna impress us today is, I believe he's gonna impress us today is Carlos Enriquez. He's been having a very good, strong season with 2 back-to-back second-place finishes. He's starting in the back today, P12. Well, we'll see if he's able to make his way up through the pack today. Another driver to be on the lookout for is the Ron Harrington. And I gotta say, he's probably one of the most improved drivers this season. He's been starting in the back, but somehow he's been able to make his way up to the front at the end of the races. So I'd probably vote Ron Harrington as one of the most improved drivers of this season. And as we take another look, Josh Kirsch is just already out to a 1-second lead, and he is just dominating the field so far. Bobby Mantle, P2 right now, followed by Adam Thompson running in that P3 spot. And Adam Thompson is one of these drivers who's looking for a seat for the truck season. And I'll tell you what, the quickest way to find yourself in a seat is making your way up to the front and stacking together solid finishes. And right now, Adam Thompson's currently outside the bubble for the playoffs, so he's looking to have a good race tonight. And hopefully he's able to make that playoff cut. Michael Hayes is in that P4 spot. He's been struggling for the past... He hasn't been able to put together a dominant race so far. He almost had it over there at Charlotte, but he wasn't able to put together. He's looking for a strong finish. He's currently top 5 in points, and I'm pretty sure sooner or later he'll be able to put it together. There we go. Donnie Honeycutt currently sitting in P5. He's under fire right now from Chad McGinley. Chad McGinley's another dominant driver who had last week, if you remember, he had some unfortunate luck. He was able to make his way up to the front and then got into it with 3 laps to go with Bobby Mantle. He's looking to have a strong finish here today and come away with his first win of the season. JJ McCoy, another strong driver running P7. He has had his win earlier. He's looking to get back in that podium position. So hopefully he's able to have a good race tonight and keep his torch with the playoffs. Chase Albright, I'll tell you what, Chase has been a dominant driver all season. He is just unfortunately not able to come away with a good finish, but he's been there, and that's one thing that you want to do as a driver, is you always want to be there when it comes time for the finish. He's had some unfortunate luck for the past few weeks, but this is another driver who, if he's able to make that postseason, which I believe he's in, he will look out for him. This is not a driver that you want to catch a hot streak towards the end of the season. And then we have Danny White. Danny White, he's had some unfortunate luck too. He's been caught up in a couple cautions. He's looking to have a good race tonight. He should have a good race tonight, and we'll see what he's able to do. Bradley Minor is running in that P10 spot. He's currently right now under fire from Carlos Enriquez. He's looking to gain up 2 positions from starting from P12. We'll see how Bradley Minor is able to navigate that. And then we have Tyler Honeycutt. I spoke to Tyler earlier this week, and I'll tell you what, Tyler, this is just a point stay for him. He just wants to make sure he has a good finish. His game plan is just to ride, just to survive, honestly. He just wants to survive this week, and he's looking for a good point stay, and he needs it. So hopefully he's able to bounce back, have a good point stay, and then he's able to make a strong contention come playoffs. And we have Mark Sherwood. Mark Sherwood is a phenomenal driver. He is currently sitting right now in P3. He's fell off 3 positions right now, so he's looking to have a bounce back. He's looking to bounce back. He's struggling a little bit, but hopefully he can get it together here. Alexander Cohen is another driver who's looking to have a strong race. He's currently sitting just outside the points. He needs to have a good race. Hopefully he can get a top 5 today. I know he'll be looking for it. And he's also another driver who's able to make his way up to the front at the end of races. So we'll see what he's able to do tonight. John Howard. John Howard, unfortunate luck last week. I spoke to him earlier in the week. He was very dominant in the beginning of the race last week at Bristol, but then he accidentally burned his tires up from speaking to him too early, and then got involved in a wreck and just wasn't able to keep it together. So hopefully he's able to come with a good finish this week. Then we have Michael Dow. I'll tell you what, Michael Dow is one of the nicest drivers you can see in the league, speaking to him personally. Such a great guy. He's sitting right now at P16. He's looking to have a dominant finish, and I believe he's currently in the playoffs, so he's just looking to have a good point stay. Then we have Dwayne Honeycutt. Dwayne Honeycutt's another fast driver, another one of those Honeycutts. He's currently one of the, between him and DJ Honeycutt. They're the only Honeycutts that haven't had a win so far. They've been close, but he's looking to have a good race today. And then we have in our P18 spot, Ron Harrington. Do not sleep on him being in that last place. He will have a good race. And right now, if you don't look at it right now, Michael Hayes is already up 5 positions, and he is coming for Josh Kurz. Like I talked about earlier, Michael Hayes is one of those good drivers. He knows he's an all-around driver. It doesn't matter what car it is, Xfinity, truck, Arca series car. He's gonna drive the mess out of that car, and expect him to have a good race, and expect him to be on Josh Kirsch's bumper here pretty soon. And Bobby Mantle already down 2 positions, started P2. One thing about Bobby, he sets the bar for saving tires, and that's one thing. If you're ever racing around Bobby Mantle, you just want, and you're going past him in the beginning of the race, you're doing something wrong. He knows how to save tire, and as you can see, him, JJ McCoy, and Chad McGinn, they all teammates in the truck series, will be racing together currently. So hopefully these guys are being very patient with each other and not wearing up each other's tires too much. But I'll tell you what, Josh Kirsch has just been the class of the field. He's the only person in here to set a 32-1 in tonight's race. And I'll tell you what, he set the fastest lap today with a 32.7. So, or 32.37. So, phenomenal driving from him. We're already approaching lap 18. And I'll tell you what, Josh Kirsch has been phenomenal. Unfortunately, speaking with Josh Kirsch earlier throughout the season, he's a very talented driver who would love to race trucks, but unfortunately, with iRacing, you know, sometimes real life gets in the way, and he's one of those drivers where his job is just very demanding, and almost comes there and brushes the wall. He's using up all of that track, and that's what you want to see as a driver. You want to use up all of that track, and he knows what he's doing, and you can tell that he's been putting that time in throughout this week, and he has his race car dialed in. And we have a huge back here. We have a huge pack, and this is such a big pack here. And these guys are racing. These guys are going to be racing each other hard up here. Let's look at this battle box between Adam Thompson, Bobby Mantle, JJ McCoy, Chad McGinley, Chase Albright, Danny White, and Donnie Honeycutt. Let's ride along here with Danny White and see what he's able to see. And guys, one thing about this track is this track eats your tires up. As you can see there, these guys were getting a little sideways coming out of these corners, and that's one thing about this track. This track is very, very, very hard on your tires, and these guys are doing a phenomenal job of racing each other with a lot of respect. as you take a look at Bobby Mantle, who's right now under fire from Chase Albright. And Bobby Mantle has just been falling back. I can just tell you he's been struggling. And speaking of Bobby Mantle, I spoke to him earlier in tonight, and he told me he just bought the track tonight. And unfortunately right now, you can tell Bobby's usually one of those drivers who puts in a lot of practice throughout the week, but unfortunately this wasn't the case tonight. And he is showing. And hopefully he's able to adapt. And I'll tell you what, guys, one thing about these races is one caution will change the whole complexion of the race. And when it gets down to pit stop adjustments, everything will change. But these guys are racing very hard and very even. They're on a very even playing field here, and I love to see this type of racing. As you see a battle right now between Bradley Minor and Tyler Honeycutt. Tyler Honeycutt's able to get by Bradley Minor, clear himself coming out of turn 2. We have a battle here again with Alexander Cohen and John Howard. John Howard looking to get to the inside, and below him, that 17 car of Dwayne Honeycutt is going to try to get by them both. He's able to get past Alexander Cohen. This is what I like to see. Dwayne Honeycutt's being aggressive, getting to the inside of John Howard. He's had the faster car than these guys. Let's see if he's able to use some side draft on the backstretch to make sure he can slow down John Howard. John Howard's going to get a little bit of a better run on that high side. And it looks like Dwayne Honeycutt's just keeping it low, not hitting his apex coming out of turn 2. And that can slow you down if you're not hitting your apex. These guys have been stuck to each other like glue. Chad McGinley, JJ McCoy, and Bobby Mantle. And Donnie Honeycutt's going to be up there to their bumper soon. But he's another driver that's fell down 4 spots, just like Bobby Mantle. And Danny White, who's also been struggling as well, is down 5 spots from grid. So we'll see what he's able to do. Tyler Honeycutt starting to make his way up through the field. He's up 4 spots. He's up 5 spots, I'm sorry. And he's all the way up to P12. And one thing about Tyler is once he starts to get more comfortable with this track, he'll go for it. And we are on lap 30. We are going to step aside. I'm going to step aside, and we're going to turn these engines up and let these drivers get going. as we come back from break. Still see an all-out battle here, and these guys are going for it. And these guys have caught Adam Thompson. We have an all-out battle right now for that P2, P3 position. As Josh is out to an 8-second lead. And I wonder what happened there. Josh Kirsch is out to a 8-second lead, and that is just astonishing. Looks like we have Alexander Cohen going down pit road. A little bit of left side, a little bit of right side damage. Looks like he might have scraped the wall. He's gonna go ahead and get fresh 4 tires. We also had Mike Hayes hit, so that's why he was able to. That's why he was able to get up around these drivers. So did Mark Sherwood. These guys have been racing so hard. These 3 guys, between JJ McCoy, Chad McKinley, and Donnie Honeycutt. Bobby Mantle was able to get around them. He was able to find some life in the tires. Now he's back to P2. And guys, we are on lap 42. We are almost halfway to the end of this race, and these guys have been racing hard. But I'll tell you what, guys, the class of the field has been that 35 car of Josh Kirsch. And I just don't know where this came out of. He's been due for a good race. At South Boston, he almost won the race, but unfortunately he had a penalty. And he just wasn't able to come away with the win. But he is making a dominant race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, or today I should say. And as he gets passed by Michael Hayes, and Michael Hayes is going to unlap himself, and we'll see what type of run that plays. And if Josh is able to make this 50 laps, I can't really imagine why Michael Hayes would have pitted so early. We have Bradley Minor down pit road. Now the interesting thing here, guys, is if Josh Kirsch is able to make it 50 laps, he can make it the rest of the race on with that set of fuel. So I can imagine that he's saving right now, and he just has to go 6 more laps, ladies and gentlemen, and then he'll be able to make it all the way. So we'll see about that. And that's what I would be doing right now. I'd just be clutching, trying to save as much fuel as possible. And I'll tell you what, these two are still racing. JJ McCoy and Donnie Honeycutt are going after it. JJ McCoy, he's already been up 6 positions so far. As Donnie Honeycutt's just looking for a little bit of room. We're looking at Chad McGinley, and Chad McGinley's starting to fall back from these guys. It's not even close. Another driver who's making significant progress is Carlos Henriquez. He's already up to P7, a good showing from him. And he's racing with his race owner, Tyler Honeycutt, who's already up 9 positions so far, biggest mover of the day. As Tyler's looking to the inside of Carlos. Probably not going to be able to clear ourselves. As we can imagine, Carlos is probably just going to fall in and let him have it. And that's 2 teammates just being courteous of each other. As we have our 2-time Arca Series winner, Donnie Honeycutt, coming on pit road, nails the pit stop. See if he's able to have a flawless stop. And he's coming out. Flawless pit stop from Donnie Honeycutt. As he's going to rejoin the track. And I'll tell you what. He has made his way to lap 50. Josh Kirsch. And this is just phenomenal. And I'll tell you what, you're already out to a 7-second lead. You might as well stay. You might as well just run it dry. That's me. That's the game plan I think he's going for. Because you have no reason to pit. The best someone's going to be able to catch up to is maybe like 2 seconds. And so I can imagine he's going to stay out there and pit because he's just been the class of the field. This has just been a butt kicking. Chad McGinley's running a little bit faster laps, but he's going down pit road. And he was just going for that lap 50 mark, as well as JJ McCoy, Danny White, Chase Albright. Coming out of pit road is Adam Thompson. So right now, Josh Kirsch, Chad McGinley, Tyler Honeycutt, Carlos Henriquez, Dwayne Honeycutt, and John Howard are the only cars not to pit. And as I'm saying that, Josh Kirsch is coming down pit road now. And he's going to grab himself a fresh 4 and some fuel. And he's going to be able to make it the rest of the way as we're seeing beautiful green flag pit stops go through. And it's been flawless for the most part. Let's see how much time, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't remember, Michael Hayes pitted on lap 32. It's going to be hard to believe that he can make it 70 laps. I just can't see it. For 68 laps on fuel, I just can't see it happening, but we'll see. And hopefully he's just praying for a caution. We have Tyler Honeycutt going down pit road, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to slide into his pit box, take himself a fresh four. As we have a new race leaders, ladies and gentlemen. Carlos Henriquez. He's going to go out there and lead some laps. Good on him. He's been making a phenomenal job as Chad McGinley going down pit road finally for the first time. And on marking lap 55, and that is an outstanding run for him. The only driver who has not pitted yet is Carlos Henriquez. I can only imagine that this may be hurting him right now, but we will see. And I'm sorry, John Howard has not. He's going down pit road now, actually, to get himself a fresh four in that beautiful Cheetos paint scheme. I can imagine that Carlos will probably be coming in this time around, as we're approaching lap 57, and it looks like he's gonna stay out. This is very interesting, as Mark Sherwood is gonna unlap himself on the high side. And we are approaching lap 58. And for a driver to make it this long on fuel, and with worn tires of this extent, he's looking pretty good. He is looking phenomenal, ladies and gentlemen. And he is going to go ahead and make it another time around to lap 59, as Michael Hayes is slowly starting to creep up. He is only 6 seconds back, and he is creeping up closer and closer as he's starting to set Carlos Henriquez in his sights. As we ride along with Michael Hayes. Tell you another driver to look out for, who's coming fast and in a hurry. Josh Kurtz, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't believe it, believe it. We have Carlos Henriquez on pit road. And this is on lap 61, ladies and gentlemen. Phenomenal stint from Carlos Henriquez. Now this has me thinking maybe, just maybe, Michael Hayes may be enough to, he might be able to save enough fuel. We'll see. If Carlos was able to make it 60 laps, knowing Michael Hayes, he's a phenomenal pit strategist, and we'll see. I highly doubt he'd break a one-stop race into a two-stop race. We'll see. As we have Bobby Mantle in P3. Looking at Adam Thompson, he just fell back a little bit. He was running P3 earlier in the race, and now he's all the way back to P6. He's looking to rebound. He pitted on lap 42. And hopefully he's able to find his way back up to the front. Tyler Honeycutt, another driver who's looking to make his way up to the front. He's sitting P9 right now. And right now he has Danny White in his sights. And Chad McGinley, who's fallen back to P10. And just he hasn't been able to put it together this race. And Michael Hayes is right now still in front. He only has the 8-second lead on Josh Kirsch. We'll see if he's able to hold. It's going to be a tight one, but you got to be able to save your tire and run your line. And this will be a phenomenal move. But slowly but surely, Josh Kirsch is starting to cut down into that lead. He's already in a 2.5-second lead now to Michael Hayes. And I'll tell you what, when you're Michael Hayes, when he gets up to you, you want to fight him for that position. You want to make it as hard as possible for him to pass you so he can burn up his tires. You want to pinch him low. You want him to pass on the low side so you can pinch him down, and you keep that run. He's already down to a 6-second lead, and I can just only imagine he will be up to Michael Hayes very shortly. Carlos Enriquez, who stayed out 61 laps, is already going in, and Michael Hayes is down pit road, and that's just the thing. He's gonna have to gamble on a caution, and if he gets a caution, I can just still not imagine that it's gonna help him out. And as he has trouble on pit road, he undershoots his pit. And that's just going to add another second to his pit stop. And I can imagine that's going to cost him a tremendous amount of track position. As he's probably, looks like he's only going to take gas and go. We'll see if he entered the pits, if he took tires. As he had a little bit of a mistake going down pit road. And he took right side tires, and I believe that was it. Oh, he took left sides too, and he took a complete fourth. And yeah, that's gonna do it for. That's probably gonna do it for his race. He's not gonna have enough time to catch up. As our new race leader, who's up to a 9-second lead right now, who's been dominating the race. I tell you what, this right here has been an old school butt kicking. A complete old school butt kicking. And now he's over here battling with Michael Dowell, about to put Michael Dowell a lap down. I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed this season with Donnie Honeycutt. And I'll tell you what, he might talk about saying that life gets in the way, and I understand he's the man of the family, but Donnie Honeycutt has been taking his family to school when it comes to racing in these Arca cars. Very, very fast driver. Unfortunately, he's not going to be able to race in the truck season come February because due to his family obligations, but he would be a very phenomenal driver to watch race on Sundays. And right now, you see Michael Hayes unlap himself again. And he's going to be fighting an uphill battle. Right now, he's closing in on John Howard. John Howard, he's a very phenomenal driver, but he hasn't been able to put together a complete race yet this season. And I'll tell you what, that 78 car he's shown a lot of consistency in the trucks towards the end of last season. He hopefully come February he's able to put together a strong season as we come to 26 laps to go. Or, I'm sorry, 25 laps to go. So we're looking at our race leader, Josh Kurz, who is another driver who unfortunately will not be racing on Sundays in the Truck Series. He's been a phenomenal driver. He's been the complete class of the field. And let's take a look on board with Josh Kurz on how he's able to maneuver the wheel. I'll tell you what, from Josh Kurz, very, very, very minute wheel movements, and that is paying off tremendously for his tires. As you can see, second place right now, who is currently 10 and a half seconds back, Bobby Mantle. That is a huge deficit. 3.5 seconds back right now is Donnie Honeycutt and JJ McCoy. Tyler Honeycutt, who's found himself up to P7. He's having a great race. And I'll tell you, I feel like Donnie Honeycutt probably could have had a better, he'd probably be up more positions if he would have qualified better. Very disappointed to see him qualify so far back, but I know how much of a competitive driver he is. As we're looking at Danny White, who fell back, who started P4 and it's fell back to P8, but he's starting to pick himself up, dust himself off, and get right back to it as he's in P8, and he's running some pretty consistent lap times right now. So we'll see what he's able to do. Take a look at Bradley Minor, another driver. Right now he's in P9. And he's doing good. And now the thing is, what you see about it is Bobby Mantle here. He's a phenomenal Truck Series driver, but he hasn't been able to put together a complete race. This has probably been his best race of the season so far, but it hasn't looked like he's been comfortable this season with his car. And you can say that he had his time last week at Bristol, where unfortunately he just got together with Chad McGinley. There were 3 laps to go, but I just don't believe that's something that would actually happen with Bobby Mantle racing in the trucks. I just don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was just a lack of seat time during the off season, or it was just him not being used to this car. But it just doesn't look like he's been comfortable this season, as he's putting together a great race today, but I haven't seen him come across that victory lane yet at all this season. Him and Chad McGinley. These were the superstars of the Truck Series last season, and they just haven't really been able to put together that complete race yet. And I can't put an exclamation point on that yet for this entire season, because the playoffs is usually when they come alive. So we'll see what happens, as we have a nice battle coming here for P3 between JJ McCoy, Chad McGinley, and Donnie Honeycutt. Still maintaining that 10-second lead, Josh Kirsch. And I'll tell you what, I haven't seen this bad of a butt kicking this season, and he's just been putting it together. And speaking to him a couple weeks ago, he says, I love these cars. When I can race, I love just racing in general. The only thing is his job restricts him, but he would love to be a part-time driver for one of these teams coming in February. And he would be a very good asset to someone on the team. It's just unfortunately his work schedule just restricts him from being able to commit full time to a Truck Series. As he's approaching John Howard, about to put him a lap down. But I'll tell you what, this is one of those type of races where you can dominate the whole race, and then at the end of the race, and I don't want to jinx it, with that 5 laps to go, you get that first caution of the race, and then from there, it turns into a shootout. But unfortunately, with the lap times Josh Kirsch said, I don't think anybody's able to match that pace. But we haven't really seen anybody really push a hot lap from the jump. Josh Kirsch still has the fastest lap for today of a 32.37. Not even Michael Hayes was able to set a lap as close to Josh Kirsch. Michael Hayes' fastest lap being a 32.67. That's very interesting. Bobby Mantle, Chad McGinley, Donnie Honeycutt, JJ McCoy, Adam Thompson, Tyler Honeycutt, Danny White, Michael Hayes, and Bradley Miner make up the top 10. I'll tell you, he's been making a nice little comeback now. Carlos Enriquez. Looks like he had some right side damage there. Might have gotten to the wall earlier, but he's been making his way back up. Hopefully, he's able to get himself a top 10. Michael Dowd, another driver, who's looking to have a good points race. And he's sitting back in P15. I can imagine he's going to turn it up come playoff time. But that White Castle number 60 car is going to settle for a nice points day. And next week, guys, we will be racing. Next week, guys, we will be racing at Pocono Motor Speedway. That is going to be, I believe so. I will double verify with you as we take a quick break in the action. Never mind, I'm sorry. We'll be racing at Nashville Fairgrounds Super Speedway. That's going to be another short track, and that will be, I believe that's a short track, and that will be a phenomenal race. That will be 150 laps there, as these drivers will compete. 12 drivers will compete next week for that playoff position. So the chase is on, ladies and gentlemen, and expect a phenomenal race. And I'll tell you what, as we're approaching 7 laps to go. And that 98 car is going a lot down. Alexander Cohen, who has unfortunately, he needed a really good points day, and he just hasn't been able to put together. He was on the bubble of the playoffs, and just hasn't been able to put together a good race today. And unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to make the playoffs. That's just the luck of the draw. He's been a very, very, very eager driver, and a driver that's been willing to learn all season. And just unfortunately, he just hasn't been able to put it together tonight's race, and he's just not going to have. It's not going to be there for the chase. And that's the thing, is I wish some, like these drivers, honestly, I want to give all these drivers a pat on the back. These drivers have been putting together a phenomenal race. And I love seeing these drivers come out each and every week and compete. We have 5 laps to go. Josh Kurse has just been, he has just been the class of the field. No one has really been able to touch him all night, all day. Bobby and Chad are going to come in second and third. Followed by Donnie Honeycutt, P4. We have a 3-way battle here going. As this is going to intensify, will this bring out the caution that these drivers are waiting for? Tyler Honeycutt, who's been making a phenomenal race. He's been having a phenomenal race. Unfortunately, started in the back, but Tyler's always going to be a fast driver, and he's also another driver who should be in contention for most improved drivers. Because he has just been putting on a show. The notion of Tyler is, Tyler was a very hot lap type of driver, and kind of struggled with shaving tire. And I love to see the growth now with Tyler in these Arca cars and being able to save his tire. And he has shown a phenomenal job of driving from the back all the way to the front, starting in P18 or P17. I'm sorry. So he has put together a phenomenal race, and he's trying to snag himself a top 5. But JJ McCoy is going to try to battle back for that. As we look at Josh Kurse, 2 laps to go. He's looking for his first win in the Global Racing League Arca Series in the coming home 100. He's been the most dominant driver by far tonight. And if you take a look back to South Boston Motor Speedway, he had a mishap there, but he was able. But this is going to be the big rebound race from him tonight, as he's going into turn 1 for the final time today, ladies and gentlemen. One of the most exciting drivers of the league by far. He's put the whole league on notice. This has been a old-fashioned butt kicking, and he's put the entire Global Racing League Arca Series drivers on notice with this type of finish, as Josh Kurse is going to come by and take his first win of the season in the Global Racing Arca Series League. Phenomenal race. And he's going to be our coming home 100 winner, Josh Kurse. Followed by Bobby Mantle and Chad McGinley in P2 and P3. Phenomenal races from them. And they're able to find themselves in front as well. But I just can't believe this driver, Josh Kurse, finished with a 9.5 second lead on the entire field. And he made this into a 1 pit stop race. If you look at Michael Hayes, who decided to make this 2 pit stop race, it really didn't pay off unfortunately for him. And that ruined his chances. But as Josh Kurse comes by, and I can imagine he has some rubber to burn. As he's gonna burn his tires out, and with a much deserved burnout after that phenomenal win. And I feel like that's a statement race right there, ladies and gentlemen. That is a statement race if I have seen one. And so let's go ahead and, ladies and gentlemen, and we are going to take a look as Josh Kurse is going to continue that gnarly burnout. And let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at the race results. So we have in P1, Josh Kurse. P2, Bobby Mantle. P3, Chad McGinley. P4, Donnie Honeycutt. P5, Tyler Honeycutt. P6, JJ McCoy. P7, Adam Thompson. P8, Michael Hayes. P9, Danny White. P10, Carlos Enriquez. P11, Chase Albright. P12, Dwayne Honeycutt. Phenomenal bounce back from him. P13, Bradley Minor. P14, John Howard. P15, Michael Dow. P16, Ron Harrington. P17, Alexander Cohen. And P18, Mark Sherwood. So phenomenal race from these guys. They went green. They went they went green flag the whole entire race. So good job from these guys. And right now, that brings it up. We are gonna get some interviews going now, and we're gonna talk to some of these fast guys. So we're gonna bring our P3 driver in, and we're gonna get the interviews kind of going here. So I'm gonna bring Chad McGinley over, and we are gonna get Chad McGinley Chad
Oh,
McGinley, this is Joshua Slade in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got a copy, Mr. Slade.
Yes. Walk me through today's race. It looked like the whole field was kind of struggling compared to Josh Kurse. What was kind of going on out there today?
Oh, Kirsch was just on it. To be honest, he ran a heck of a race. Didn't have anything for him, that's for sure. It was just tough. I mean, you had to manage your tires for a long run, and it's slippery out there. So thought I was doing okay, and then I think I just overcooked him in the first run and kind of fell back, and then kind of just chillaxed for a little bit. And I think I chillaxed a little too long because the gap between me and Bobby left, and me staying out about 3 laps kind of gave up a big gap. But it was fun. Had a good time. It was a good race. Congrats to Josh for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So this has been probably you have another top three finish to add towards the season, I believe, or is this your first one? But
Honestly, I think it's my first one.
yeah, it's your first one. So I guess with that being said, Chad, pretty much how has getting adapted to these cars been throughout the season so far?
It's tough. I haven't ran much of these, so I'm mainly a strictly truck guy, and wanted to get to learn a little bit more about tire management, and it's helping a little bit. I feel like because you really got to run these like on the edge, but at the same time be careful. And I've had some bad luck this year, but it is what it is, and hoping I can stay in the top 12 and hopefully make a push for the championship.
Yes, sir, Chad McGinley. So we will be at Nashville Fairgrounds next week. How are you feeling about that track?
I like the fairgrounds. It's throwback to the old days of NASCAR, so I think it'll be a good pairing. I think it'll be probably similar to this. Um, maybe run in the middle. I don't know too much about the Arca car, but got to put some time in for sure because I didn't put any time in this week. I was struggling all week, so it definitely showed. But I mean, it was fun. That's for sure. It's a handful.
Yes, sir, Chad McGinley. Phenomenal race from you tonight. You come away as our P3 driver. Is there anyone that you want to shout out for tonight?
Josh Kirsch actually showed me a little bit of a line and made me a lot more comfortable. Obviously, I listened to the right person because he pretty much put a waxing on the field. So I appreciate him a lot. You know what I mean? So, and obviously the Grim Reaper guys, Bobby and JJ, they battled me hard. That's for sure. I mean, we got at a 4 wide situation at one point, and I did not know about it, so that was a little scary. But it gives a nice taste of what you're gonna see in the Truck Series coming up this year.
Yes, sir. So with Grim Reaper Motorsports, what's kind of elaborate? What's kind of the expectation for you guys this season? What kind of statement do you guys want to make coming up for the 2024 season?
Honestly, we wanna do what we can to get 3, 4 drivers in the championship chase. Honestly, that's gonna be our for sure goal. 5 would be awesome. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be a battle and an uphill battle, but with our showing last year, with me, Steven, and Bobby at the top, shout out to Kenny. I appreciate everything you did for us. We're gonna put what we've learned from you and continue it on here at Grim Reaper, and hopefully do just as good or even better than last year.
Sir, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chad McGinley, our P3 racer of the night. Thank you, Chad, for stopping by in the booth. You have a nice day.
I I appreciate it, Slade.
And now we are moving over to our P2 finisher of the night, Bobby Mantle. You came away with the P2 finish of the night. Can you explain to me what you think you could have done better to prepare for the
Uh,
race?
oh, I probably could have bought the track a little sooner than 7:30 tonight, and maybe turned some laps beforehand.
Hey, but you came
But
away
I
with the
think I did
P2
pretty good,
finish.
all things considering. Yeah, exactly. Um, but yeah, Josh he was fast, man. I think I was trying to be a little too conservative. I really thought he was going to burn his tires up, and that was not the case. He just kept taking off.
Yes, yes. I was looking at the way Josh was driving, and it just looked like he made kind of minute wheel movements, and he was just able to use that wheel throttle. But it was, I guess, it just came down to the line today. But I mean, for as you alluded to, that for a driver who bought the track right before the race, you were able to come away with a P2 finish. So that says a lot about your skill as a driver. And you probably could have had something for Josh Kirsch if you would put in more time for throughout the week. But no, nonetheless, I can't take anything away from you. And a phenomenal finish tonight. Next week, we'll be racing at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Can you kind of show me tell me how you're gonna prepare for that race next week?
Well, that one is in the cart right now, so I'm gonna have to try and put down a few practice laps there. I'll try and race a little bit before Thursday evening. We'll see and see if maybe I can get that P1 instead of just riding back here shotgun and P2.
Yeah, 10-4. 10-4. Again, I saw you, Chad, and Josh McCoy. Y'all were racing pretty hard throughout the most of the race. And I like to see that as Grim Reaper Motorsports. So, kind of tell me how like you guys are like what type of statement do you guys want to make at Grim Reaper Motorsports for next season in the 2024 Truck Series?
Oh, we're gonna come out the gate swinging when the truck season starts. We're gonna really put in the hours for practicing, much in the same way that we did with at the top there towards the last half of the season, and you guys all saw how that worked out. We were pretty dominant, so hoping that we can have Grim Reaper be a dominant force throughout the entire season.
Yes, and always just you and Chad McGinley always find a way to make it in that top five throughout the race. So very talented driver, very, very talented drivers. Bobby Mantle, who do you want to shout out after today's race?
Big shout out to you, man. You're putting in a pile of work with this broadcast. Do a great job. Enjoy going back and watching this over. Shout out to the guys behind the scenes, Kenny and Lester, who brought this whole league together. Wouldn't be here without those guys. And big shout out to all the guys that have been showing up, all the new guys that have been showcasing their skill. We appreciate them all coming out, and great job today keeping this race green.
Yes, sir. And so, Bobby, I alluded to earlier in the broadcast that I guess like tonight has been pretty much your first complete race of the season. It like from the beginning of the season, it just looked like you wasn't completely comfortable with these Arca Series cars. So can you kind of elaborate on from when you how you felt when you first touched these Arca cars to now?
Yeah, I had very little experience with these things beforehand, so I've definitely adapted as we've gone on through these weeks. Yeah, they're real touchy with the throttle, so you gotta be real careful. It's real easy to spin. So I've learned a little more throttle control with these. Learned to be a little more patient through the corners. You gotta get on the exit a little bit later than you normally would. And as long as you manage those tires well, you can still whip these things around pretty well. But it's just come down to seat time in these things over the weeks. I've just become more comfortable. I had a little bit of bad luck in some of the previous races. Last week was kind of my fault, driving like a bit of a madman. So today I was prioritizing just trying to be safe and keep myself on the racetrack for all 100 laps.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Phenomenal game plan. And last question for you, Bobby. So with today being the cutoff for the playoffs, what type of statement do you want to make for the playoffs into the last three races of the season?
I'm gonna give it my all, man. Well, we'll see where it takes me, but I'm not gonna just hand these wins over to these guys. I'm gonna make them work for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bobby Mantle, the 89 car, dominant race. He's looking to set a huge statement for the playoffs. Thank you, Bobby, for stopping by. You have a nice
All
day.
right. You too. Thanks, Josh.
And the man who I said has been laying down a old school butt kicking all race, the class of the field, all race today, Josh Kirsch. Josh, this is Joshua Slade in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Hey Josh, I got you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Phenomenal race tonight. You completely butchered all of these drivers tonight. Can you kind of explain to me how you prepared for this race throughout the week?
Yeah, just starting Monday, I started turning laps. I was running some officials, seeing how the tires would last, and yeah, just putting down a bunch of laps this week, and yeah, just seeing how the car felt after a little bit. Maybe adjusting my brake bias up or down. I ended up turning it down for this race, and it worked out really good.
Yes, phenomenal, phenomenal strategy from you today. So early on in the race, I have a couple questions for you, Josh. So when you saw Michael Hayes, because Michael Hayes was probably one of the only drivers that was actually going to be your competitor tonight. When you saw he went down pit road and on lap 32, what was kind of your mindset there? Did that kind of throw you off your strategy or distract you from your strategy, or was your mindset, hey, I'm just going to make it till lap 50, 52, or 51 and go down pit road?
Yeah, the whole time I was just aiming for lap 50, making a one-stop race. Earlier this season, I think it was at Kansas, was it? Or Charlotte. It was Charlotte. We did. There's a lot of people that did the two-stop strategy, and it didn't work out too well. So I thought the one-stop strategy was the way to go again. So it ended up working out, and yeah. So, but yeah, Michael Hayes, he was. I saw him there. He was sticking with me pretty good. I wasn't sure if I was burning up the tires too quick or not, but he was right with me there. And yeah, also Bobby Mantle, I was worried about him later on too. It was just hard to gauge if I was burning the tires too quick or not.
Yes, yes, sir, yes, sir. So can you kind of walk me through this season? Because I believe a couple weeks ago we were racing at South Boston, and you were leading, and then you got an unfortunate penalty. Am I correct?
Yeah. So I just jumped the restart on that. So that's how it goes. So I had to do a drive-through penalty there towards the end, which is kind of a bummer, but also happy for JJ to get that win also.
Yeah. So I mean, great bounce back from you. So kind of, what was your mentality going into this race today after that kind of debacle of a finish?
Yeah, I felt like I had to finish, in the top few spots there to even have a chance of making the playoffs. I missed last week. I was gone, but I'm not sure if first would still get me in the playoffs. I can't remember where I'm at in the standings, but yeah, just goal was to finish up hopefully top couple, so top few, top five, I guess. So.
Yes, sir. I mean, completely dominant race from you tonight. Unfortunately, you are not going to be racing the trucks due to your
Oh,
works. Uh-oh. Yeah. But I mean, such a dominant driver. Can you kind of like elaborate on like how you got so comfortable with these cars, or do you have a background with these Arca cars?
no, I don't really have a background. Just it really comes down to just turning a lot of laps on here. I feel like the more laps you get, the more comfortable you can be. The more you're comfortable with not just the car but the track itself too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, believe that you're going to be in the playoffs now with this dominant win tonight. Can you kind of explain like what's going to be your mentality going in for these last three races?
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay, yeah, I thought you said I wasn't going to be in the playoffs earlier, but you said the trucks. Yeah, just keep it 1 week at a time with these playoffs. Just try to probably practice as much as I did this week for each week coming forward, and we'll see how it turns out.
Yes, sir. So, Josh, we have Nashville Fairgrounds coming up. We have Pocono Raceway and Concord. Which track are you kind of worried about racing? And which track are you kind of eager to race at?
I think Nashville is what I'm most eager for. Probably a little nervous for Pocono. Pocono is a pretty challenging track there, so that might take a little extra practice.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. With three races to go, you're going to be taking it 1 week at a time. A phenomenal race from you tonight. You've really just put on a phenomenal butt kicking of a race. Great job. You were able to grab your first win. Should have been second, but unfortunately, you were able to rebound this week. So congratulations to you. Who do you want to shout out, Josh, after a phenomenal
Um,
race tonight?
Yeah, I definitely want to shout out just the whole league, Global Racing League. Great league to be a part of. All the guys that are running in this have been a really fun time, in Discord. It's been such a blast to be in here. And then also you, Josh, for the broadcast. While I was gone last week, I was watching that also. That was a lot of fun to watch. You do a really good job with everything. So yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Nice to hear. I'll tell you what, after that race this season, you're gonna be one of my picks to take it home this season. You've shown this season that you're a dominant driver racing. You can race up front and compete with the fastest drivers in this league. And so you will be one of my picks, and hopefully you can keep your car clean. It's just avoiding these wrecks, but that's just gonna be the thrill of it. So much luck to you and best of luck to you moving towards these last three races. And good luck.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. Really appreciate it. Hopefully I prove you right.
Yes, yes, sir. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we that's gonna do it for our race winner tonight, Josh Kurse. Phenomenal race tonight. He put together a great race. He was able to bring away that P1 position after a kind of a botched finish last a couple weeks ago at South Boston Motor Speedway, as you guys can remember. Did a very good job. Phenomenal race from all the drivers tonight. Thank you guys, whoever's watching at home, to the families who are watching at home. Shout out to you guys. Shout out to the wives who put up with their husbands or boyfriends who are racing this. So thank you for watching at home. We us at Global Racing League, we always loved to have you guys watching. It's been a phenomenal race tonight, and expect a lot of more exciting races in the next coming weeks. In the next 3 weeks, we have the lineup for National Fairgrounds Speedway, Pocono Raceway, and then the grand finale is going to be at Concord Speedway. A lot of drivers are not looking forward to that last race, but it's going to be one of the best races in our finale race. And we're going to watch all the gloves come off, guys, and it's going to be a very, very, very phenomenal race. So there you have it, guys. It's been a fun race tonight. We will see. I will check back in with you guys next week. We will be at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, and these drivers are going to be 12 drivers will be competing for a championship. So best of luck to those drivers. Thank you guys for coming out and watching, and we will see you guys next week.